Okay, welcome everybody to our third session. It's been amazing. We now have 700 people in our group in just a matter of 3 weeks. I am so happy about this, and also we're doing something different this time around because I thought I'd make I'd make a few changes. I want to make this a little bit more interactive. And what I did was I invited a few of you guys to help to join me here on our session. So I'm going to change the view here. So I'm just going to have, I invited 10 people to join us here too. So I'm going to call your name and go ahead and actually you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Just tell us your name and where you're from. Okay. So we'll start with Janine.
Hi, my name is Janine. I'm from Curacao, but living in Czech Republic, Prague.
Very nice. What time is it in Prague?
It's almost 9:30.
Wow. Awesome. And okay, now next, Maricel and Mushroom.
Hi, good morning from Manila. This is Mushroom. It's 3:30 in the morning. Hello to
It's crazy. Thank you for tuning in. That's dedication right there. Okay, next, Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Riccari. I'm from Key Largo, Florida, and happy to be here today with you, Christian.
I'm glad to have you here, Susan. Okay, next, Nancy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Lonnie, and I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Dennis.
Hi, I'm Dennis Norris. I'm from Fresno, California, just up the road from you a little bit.
Just up the road. I can see you right now, actually. And next, Jerica.
Hi guys, I'm Jerica. I'm from Huntington Beach, California.
Just like literally next door. Welcome. Okay, Nagib.
Hi, this is Nagib Chakan, coming to you from Geneva, Switzerland. Up until recently, was in London, but hey, in the land of the mountains and lakes.
When did you move to Switzerland?
End of last year, December last year.
Oh, I would go to London and I'd have a dinner with Nagib. We'll go to Chinatown and he'll feed me. What do we eat? The shomais. What do you call that?
Got dim sum? No.
Dim sum. Yeah, amazing in Chinatown in London.
Absolutely, we've got to do it again as soon as we can fly.
Yes, we will. Okay, and Connie.
Hi everyone, I'm Connie Maito calling from St. Louis and having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for this.
Welcome, Connie. And Melissa?
Hi, I'm Melissa Jackson and I'm from Discovery Bay, California. I'm so glad to be here.
Welcome, Melissa. And Alex.
Hey, it's Alex Figueroa. I'm here in Bradenton, Florida. It's happy to be here. It's excited for this next lesson.
Well, thank you all for being part of this. And you know, it's really, I actually like this format because I don't feel like I'm alone. I like it when I'm interacting with people. So the idea is, the reason why they're here is during the last two sessions, and I know that there are some questions that are being, scrolling on the Facebook feed, but I'm not able to address them. So I think the idea is for them to be able to ask questions after I do every photo. Every time I edit, they're going to ask me questions for you guys. So for those of you who are not here on the Zoom call with us, just go ahead and ask away, and then one of them will hopefully catch your question and ask the question for you. Okay. So let me show you something here. I think this is actually what's happening right now. I saw this graphic and I thought it was really cool, and I thought I'd like to share it with you. Can y'all see that? So that's basically me right behind, carrying all those big cameras, and that's all of you on the right-hand side taking photos with the cell phone. I thought that's really cute. I love that a lot of you are being inspired by what we're doing here. it makes me so happy knowing that during this situation that I'm able to provide some education and something, it gives you something to do, not just keep you busy, but something really fun to do. So thank you. So thank you for being part of this. It makes me really, really happy. Okay, I'm gonna go switch to the. All right. So for those of you, please don't forget to share again, to share this feed into your Facebook wall if you haven't done it yet. And also, I just want to remind everybody, I'm still getting a lot of questions on where the past videos are stored in our group page. You can find all of them, all the past lessons and all the challenges under the announcement section. So whether you're using the laptop or your phone, just go to our group page and then and go to the announcement section. Right? I'm gonna switch speaker view here real quick. There you go. Also, I want to remind everybody, I'm part of this wonderful, wonderful event that's happening on May 16. It's a workshop. It's an online mastermind workshop. If there's one online event that I would really encourage you to attend, is this one. It's huge. Okay, so I have provided the registration link on the description of this feed. I'm actually going to show you the page right now. So this is FutureCast on May 16th. So it's a 3-hour show where a lot of experts will be presented from different walks of life, from different fields of businesses. So I will be there as the expert for photography and visual art. So it's like a smorgasbord of knowledge. It's free. And it's led by my mentor, my friend Paul Martinelli, and I'm very, very honored to be part of this amazing group of people. And I can't wait to serve and serve those who are drawn into the area of photography. There's a reason why I am teaching. Mobile photography, because as far as I know, based on the trend on the last 10 years, the future of photography is right here, right in your hands, in your pocket. It's mobile photography. There will come a day where even professional photographers like me will be taking photos just using mobile devices. I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm a professional photographer, but that really is the future. It's amazing what these mobile devices can do. And we're only like really 10 years into it, I think. Just imagine where we're going to be at in 10 years. We're now taking professional level photos with a phone. In one of my last events that I was working in Russia, in St. Petersburg, for the United Nations, there was a time when they had speakers on stage, and we really needed to. I really needed to provide them photos of the speakers on stage for the press release, and they wanted like in 5 minutes, right? The speaker speaking, they want it now, right? Well, normally in the past, I would like run to the editing room and edit, and it takes a long time. And guess what I did? I just took a photo with my iPhone with all of the speakers. And I was uploading it online, and no one even noticed it. Everyone was like, God, the photo is amazing. It's beautiful. Everyone thought I took it with this. But I just took it with my phone. Right there and there, I had like an aha moment. I said, wow, this is the future, mobile photography. And to be honest, I'm very excited about it, because I really am. I'm a little bit tired of carrying all my equipment through all the airports. I get stopped and inspected half of the time because I'm carrying all these big cameras. I get asked so many questions. Just imagine if all I have to carry is like two or three, devices like this. But it is the future, and that's where I'm focusing on. is model photography. It is the future, and that's why I'm teaching this here. Okay, um, so again, May 16, please be part of it. Please register. It's free, and I would really would love for you to join that group. Okay. Um, Other things that I do as well outside, for those of you who don't know, because I've been a photographer for good 12 years now, as a full-time photographer, and then throughout the years I built my business doing events, special projects for different companies. I pretty much traveled the whole world. I've been to almost 80 countries, doing mostly doing work, photography related work, and I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it. I'm able to combine it with my two other passions, which is animals, my love for animals, and travel. So I got like this trifecta of three things working in harmony: photography, love of animals, and travel. So that's basically who I am as a photographer. For those of you who are just watching for the first time, that's a quick description of who I am. So other things that I do outside of that is one of the latest things that I was going to be doing this year. Unfortunately, it was canceled because of the COVID situation. Was I was going to take 3 groups of people to Africa to do a safari trip in Africa. It was sold out, so I was 15 people per group, 8 days and 7 nights, where we go to Tanzania, we go out in the wild, and it's just we take photos of lions, of cheetahs, elephants. We watch the migration of millions, 7 million wildebeests. It's the most amazing thing. It's almost spiritual. So I was so excited to do it, but so we had to reschedule it for next year. The good news is next year I'm thinking of adding 2 more groups. So everyone who are going this year pretty much committed to doing it again. We're moving it next year. So, but I will make an announcement about that when the dates are finalized for 2021, and I really can't wait to do that. And maybe I can even do one of these broadcasts from the jungle. Amazing. So, all right. So, right. So why black and white? So I thought, yesterday, actually last week, I was thinking of doing another topic, but very last minute I changed my mind, because for some reason I got into like editing black and white photos on my computer, and I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling like I'm gonna do black and white. Why black and white? I'm gonna actually open up for those of you who are on the Zoom call. So anyone who wants to speak up, let me know what do you like about black and white photos? Anybody? Go unmute yourself and just speak.
More dramatic, right, Christian?
Yeah, it's more dramatic. There's a certain appeal to black and white photos, right? Yeah.
I feel like
timeless. It's timeless, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's like a study, the ones you showed us from Australia, just
Right.
the structures and the angles, it brings things to life. It's like all the things you can't see are all of a sudden there in front of you.
Beautiful. Okay,
For
so
me-
go ahead and yes.
Sorry. For me, it's really and it's been said, the timeless nature of black and white photography. The other thing is that it's so uncluttered with multiple colors. It's just purity. You begin to notice things like texture and structure that you wouldn't ordinarily notice in a color photo.
Yep, Nagib, you hit it right on the spot. Every time people ask me about what's in black, how do you even describe? How can you describe the appeal of black and white photography? And this is how I always explain it. It's like stripping a photograph of all the noise, of all the color. All you see is that what's left is its spirit and its soul. And that's what you see in black and white photography. You strip it of all the colors and all the distractions. All you see is the form, the spirit of the photo itself. That's why it has like this connection with us. It's really hard to explain, but it's the best explanation I can give. um, um, People ask me all the time as well, Christian, when do you decide to make a photograph black and white, and when do you decide it's color? I get asked about this all the time, and really I don't have an answer for it, except that I just feel it. you know I just feel it when I see something. Oh, this is going to be a black and white photo. It takes a trained eye to be able to decide that, but the truth is, you can convert any color to black and white. If it's done correctly, you will achieve your goal. Okay. So again, I want to stress this out. Most photos can be converted to black and white, and you can achieve a particular goal. Obviously, there are certain ones that you don't want to convert to black and white, like for example a rainbow. Like, well, maybe even, why not, right? Why not leave the I always say this, like, give something to a viewer where they will question it, like, like if I convert a rainbow photo to black and white, and then I show it, and then the viewer, why would he do that? The fact that they ask the question, for me, is good enough. And I will just let their imagination run, and then come up with their own answers. That's what I like about photography. Okay, there's only one rule I say about photography. One general rule about photography is that there are no rules at all. Learning photography back in the days when I was starting, I would read books, and there's like this rule of thirds, and then these are, and there's a lot of rules that a lot of photographers have come up with, and that's great. um, but I think for me, the way I see them, they're just guides. They're just guides. The ultimate rule is there are no rules. I have broken so many rules in photography that's written in the books. And most of the time, those are my favorite ones because I broke the rule, and yet people loved it. Yeah. So it's the same thing with photography. Even though I will give you some, with black and white photography, there are certain things that if you do, there's a pretty good chance you'll come up with a really good image. Okay. So, and again, these are just guides. Okay. These are not at all that you have to follow your heart when you're taking a photo and you decide to turn a photograph into black and white. You have to follow your heart. Okay. What I'm going to give to you right now, they're just guides, like, based on my experience, that if I do this, and then I know, oh God, that's a really good photo. Okay. um, so these are the characteristics of a really good black and white photography. um, it's usually very effective if there's one singular subject. Okay. One singular subject or two. Again, this is just guides. I've done photography. I've done black and white photography of just, hundreds of people in a crowd. That's fine too. But usually it's very effective if you have one particular subject. Okay. And this is just for the purpose of this class. It's also really good if you have a plain background, not too busy, just a plain background, nothing. Okay. If there's a really, really good contrast between your subject and the background. For example, white, a colored white subject, for example, a dove, against a black background. I just took a photo of this in Sydney, of this bird. It's a white bird, and behind it, it's like right on the opera house, right? But not on the white part of the opera house, but the glass part, which is dark. So if you have a really good contrast, and that's usually really good. And also if you're taking of something that is naturally black and white, for example, my dog Romy, she's black and white. She's a Boston Terrier. She looks amazing in black and white. Zebras, amazing in black and white. Pandas, amazing in black and white. Okay. It's also really cool if you can give the viewer just a portion. Don't give them the whole subject. Give them a taste of it, and let their imaginations fill the other parts that are missing, right? And I will show you exactly what I mean. And we kind of talked about this during the first session, but especially for black and white, you will see what I mean. Don't show them the whole thing. Give them like half of it, and then let their brains fill the other half. Okay. Give them a very unique perspective. And again, we talk about this. This is the third week we're talking about this. You will see a trend here. As a photographer, if you can give your viewer a very unique perspective of the subject, something that they don't normally see, you will come up with a very, very powerful image. And I'll show you some samples again. My favorite things to photograph, black and white, especially if I'm doing conceptual images, like glass looks really, really good in black and white. Like the wine glass that I took a photo of the other day, amazing. Metals, spoons, forks. I'm talking about this because this is our subject. It's everyday objects in black and white around the house. So your assignment after this session is like to really look around the house and look for these things, okay? You can do exactly what I did, or you can come up with something different. Surprise the group, surprise us. And again, if you look closely, you'll find them. They're there. They're sitting around you. They're sitting around you, okay? And get really close to the subject. And the same thing we do with the flowers. Get close to subject. Give your viewer like a magnifying glass. Like be the magnifying glass for your viewer. I also look for patterns. Patterns and texture. Okay, so take note of these keywords: pattern, texture. Get really close. Give them a part of the subject. Metallic objects. Glass looks really good in black and white. But again, this is just guide. You can use your imagination, surprise us. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go straight to the images that we're gonna go edit. So again, the process is I'm gonna go ahead and edit the photo, and then after each photo, I'm gonna open it up for questions for all our participants. And for those of you who are not in the Zoom call, again, type in your questions on the Facebook feed. The Zoom participants have downloaded the photos in advance, so we're gonna go start. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch my view here. So we're gonna do the first photo, which is, let me just let's see. See, give me a second here. Oop, wrong one. Okay, so we're gonna start with this image. I'm gonna switch so for all of you. This image. Are you all seeing that? Okay. Can anybody unmute themselves and just kind of confirm with me that you're seeing the
Yes.
iPhone? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
so we're gonna start with this image. So for those of you who are on the Zoom call, go ahead and you can follow along if you like. So here we are. I'm gonna go hit edit. So basically, these are just two forks that I put on the plate, right? And okay, first thing we're gonna do here, I'm gonna click the auto adjust right here. There you go. And then for every image, this is my process, okay? Again, coming up with a black and white photo, there are different ways to do it. For the purpose of this class, I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it, okay? It's just one way to do it. This is how I do it, okay? So hit auto adjust there, and then right away, we're gonna go to the presets, which is this part right here. See the third button here, the presets. And I'm gonna scroll all the way to the right. So the last three choices here are the monochromatic photos. So basically they're black and whites. I always choose the last one for black and whites, which is the noir. Okay, so I'm gonna head and click that, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose that, and then I'm gonna click, go back to the adjustment panel here. I mean, by itself, I already like it, right? However, just go ahead and pull something here real quick. However, this is what I want to do. We're gonna go ahead and crop it real close. Hit the crop button, and I'm gonna pinch and zoom. So it's up to you. You can decide. You can, you can do it this way. You can do it that way. You can rotate. You can even do it that way. That's actually pretty cool too. I didn't even realize that. That is a pretty cool crop as well. In fact, I think that's what we're gonna do. It's different from what I did last time, the one I posted on Facebook, but I think I like this a lot. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna crop it just like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead.
Christian, I've been
Yes.
wanting to ask since the first class.
Uh-huh.
Can you just explain the pinch and zoom, how you get the zoom part of it?
The zoom. So basically you just move your index finger, the two touch points, right? Your index finger, and you just pinch and zoom. And it should move together with it.
Okay.
Are you able to do it, Susan?
Yeah, I got it better this time. I think I finally understood that what the zoom really is.
Yeah, the zoom is you make sure you have the both touch points. Your index. I usually use my index finger and my thumb, and don't take it off of your screen. And you can just, like what I'm doing right now. Right now I'm pinching in, right?
Right.
That's pinching out, and that's pinching in.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, you don't see my finger on the screen here, but I got two fingers on the screen. I'm just kind of like moving them together and away, and together and away. Yeah.
Got it.
Did I answer your question? And I would just, I would just stop wherever I kind of want it to be. I mean, there's a lot of options here. Again, as a photographer, as an artist, there's just so many ways to do it. And like what I said before, you can have me edit the same photo in 2 different days, and I would edit them differently. It all depends on what I'm feeling right now. Because right now I'm feeling like I'm feeling this. I actually think this is beautiful. So just right off the bat, if people see this, they don't. Could you figure out there's like 2 forks, like crisscrossing each other? Takes a while to figure it out, right? But it's amazing. Okay. So we're gonna decide on this crop, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and click this auto adjust again, and then I'm just gonna go play around with with all the other sliders like exposure, and then I will just see wherever I feel like I want to stop. Like that's too much for me. That's too dark for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it right. I think just see. Okay, I need you to all look up here where my cursor is and see what happens here, right? So every time I'm editing, and this is what I look for. Okay, if I expose it too much, see, it all just becomes white, right? And it just gets blown out. That's called specular highlights. And I don't want that, because I really do want to see the texture and the detail of the metal. So I would just put it right there. So see, that's too much, and then I'm pulling back, until I start seeing the detail here, right there, and see, and I like that. And then I also look here, down here. I want to see more detail there as well, so I'm going to pull it a little bit more. So I'm pretty happy where it is right now. It's at -23. Okay. And then brilliance, let's go play ahead with brilliance. Okay, just kind of same thing. So every time I'm like playing with the sliders, to be honest, I don't really know sometimes what it's gonna do to the image. But the fun part of this is, you discover it when you do it. Okay, and then you stop whenever you feel you see something that you like. Like for this example, I'm gonna stop right there at 4 highlights. I'm going to stop at 40. Shadows. For shadows, I'm gonna bring out a little bit more of the detail on the left-hand side here. So I'm gonna give it. So I'm gonna put it at 94. Contrast, let's see what happens. Too much contrast, less. Actually, I like that. See, if I pull the contrast to the left, give it a negative value, look what happens. I see more detail, right? Beautiful. So I think for this one, I'm gonna put it at minus 55 or minus 56. And brightness, sorry. Brightness, let me see what's happening here. I'll put it at 3. Black point, let's see, I'll put it at 11. Saturation, doesn't really do much. I'm just gonna keep it at 41. And then I'm gonna give it, I just know I'm kind of happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a vignette, right? A little bit of vignette. And it's at 40. Okay, and this will be our finished photo for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and hit done here to complete it. And that's our finished. Okay, and then I'm gonna open up the, for everybody who has a question. Anyone has a question at this point? No one?
Yeah, I
Nobody?
just have a comment
Sure.
that I've appreciated that once I've messed around with it quite a bit, there's like a revert to original if we want the color one back or just to start over with the sliding. So I've appreciated that one. There's some that I really want to keep the original and then mess around with a copy. It just some of those comments that I've appreciated and just messing around with it.
Yeah, so that's a good technique actually. So when you're learning, and I do this all the time. So if you wanna do different versions, don't forget to do a duplicate, right? I don't know if you all know. Do you all know how to do a I'm gonna go a quick demo based on what you said because I think that's a really good thing for people to see. So I'm gonna switch to my phone here. So I'm gonna create. What I'm gonna do is I will create a duplicate, right? So for example, I made this is our final edits, right? And I wanna, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna do a different version just to see what I feel. So you can preserve the original one on the phone. You click on this, the share button here, and then you create duplicate. You press duplicate, and then it will ask you, because I shoot this in live, so it will ask you, do you want to duplicate it as a live photo as well, or just a still photo? I always do duplicate as a live photo because it's more true to its original form. So right now it's duplicating it, right? And then once it duplicates, I'll show you how to revert it back to original. Okay, so once it's duplicated, so here it created a third copy here for me. So this is the duplicate. So I'm gonna go ahead and click edit again. Okay, and then there's a red bottom right hand side here. It says revert, right? Revert means revert to original. So I'm gonna go ahead and it's gonna go ahead and revert to the original. So there, now you have the original photo again, and then you can start playing around saying, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna give it a more like a bluish kind of like feel, or that one. Now I'm gonna crop it this way. And then just kind of like, okay, so you just have created a new version of that photo, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so
yeah, and it's cool because we're doing side by sides. We're doing like, here's my original color and here's the black, so it comes in handy if you want to show both of them.
So like right here, you can see at the top here. So this is the actually this is the original one I posted on Facebook like a few days ago, right? And then this next one is the one that we just did today, a little bit of different angle, right? And this is the duplicate that I just did just now. Thank you for that question. That's really really good question. Anybody else?
Christian, I have a
Yes.
question.
Uh-huh.
So what you've just shown us is starting from from a color photograph.
Right.
The camera obviously has an option where you take the photo in black and white.
Black and white.
Which is the preferred option, and which one works better?
The preferred version is always, let me think about this. The preferred version is always color, and then you turn it to black and white.
Right.
Now you have to be very careful when you shoot in black and white, because there are certain cameras where, okay, we're gonna get more into like a professional stuff here, okay? But I'm gonna explain it real quick. If you're shooting in there's this thing called RAW format and JPEG format, okay? If you're shooting in JPEG format, that means this is already baked. This is what most phones do. Every time you shoot, you're shooting a JPEG, okay? JPEG is just, it's final, right? So if you're shooting in JPEG, more often than not, if you shoot in black and white, there's no way to make that into color, right? However, any color can be turned into black and white, even if it's JPEG, just like what we did right now.
Right.
Okay. However, for those who are using DSLRs and those who are familiar with shooting in RAW format, if you're shooting in RAW format, so even if when your camera has an option to shoot it in black and white, but if it's shot in RAW, you can always convert it back to color. Okay.
Thank you.
To simplify it, RAW format is like going to the grocery store and buying ingredients to bake a cake: the flour, the vanilla, the sugar. Okay, you have all of these things. JPEG is like going to the store and buying a finished cake.
Right.
It's already baked for you. You cannot break it down.
Right.
However, if you in RAW, you have a lot of options, right?
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Thank you for that.
Wonderful.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yes, Christian, one of the viewers had their Zoom cut out. So could you quickly just repeat the steps of how to duplicate a picture?
Yes, very quickly. What you can do too, okay? What you can do too is like if you're reading a recording, you can always just go back a little bit. But to duplicate a photo right here, let me show you. Actually, I have to switch back to the phone view here. Okay, so you open the photo, right? And then on the lower left-hand corner, there's like this icon. That's a share icon. You click on that. This one right here. And then you scroll down. Well, actually, if you look down here, there's an option that says duplicate. You click duplicate, and it will ask you, do you want an exact duplicate of the live photo or just a still photo? I always just put duplicate. I just always choose duplicate. And then right there, you can see it's duplicating it. Now I have 4 copies of this photo. Yeah? But again, if you still miss that, you can rewind on the recording. Any other questions? No? Okay, let's move to the second item. All right, let's go. Our next photo will be, let me see. This one I like. We're actually gonna work on this one. The egg. Okay. The egg and the fork. So I've done this before, so I was familiar with it. I've always loved it. But basically, this is one of those things when I'm telling you guys, look around the house and try to like really, squeeze the creative juices out of your brain, create something different, like for this one, the real photo I'll show you. Actually took a photo of it, and this is exactly how that looks like on my kitchen table. Can you see it? Yeah. So there are 2 forks that I crisscrossed, and I got an egg, and then I put it right there, and then I leveled the camera right underneath it, and basically I used the wall. I used my wall there as my background, and this is the resulting photo that I took. It's this one right here. Okay, and this is what we're gonna edit. So this one I pretty much shot it the way I wanted to, but we're gonna again turn this into black and white. okay? I shot this with 2x camera, zoom camera, and I used the wall as a background, and it was facing the window, so I have some light, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and click edit. Click the auto adjust button. So again, this is always the same steps that I do, right? Auto adjust button, click on the preset panels here. I'm gonna go all the way to the very end and pick the last one called Noir. Pick it. I'm gonna go back to the editing panel here. And then at this point, I'm gonna decide on the crop. So I'm gonna hit crop. For this particular one, I really wanted it more long, horizontally than square. So this is what I did here. So I just kind of cropped the bottom part there a little bit, and just a little bit there. Because I wanted to be more landscape, and I really want to show the length of it. So I wanted to like really focus on the length, okay? And then I'm gonna go back to the editing panel here. And then just like what we did before, we're just gonna play around with all the other settings, which I'm gonna do right now. Exposure, too much, too little, too dark. So for this one, I'm really looking at the texture of the egg. The texture of the egg, every time I'm moving the slider, I'm always looking right here. I'm making sure that I'm not losing any detail. I'm also making sure that it's not getting too unnaturally dark. So I'm always trying to stay where that is, right there. So I can still see the some reflection here and some shadows around here, okay? So I'm gonna keep it at 21, I think, 21 on under exposure. Brilliance, let's see what happens. For this one, if you look at the shadow at the bottom part, you can really see the difference. You can see there's no shadow, there's shadow, no shadow, no shadow. So I think I'm gonna keep it like around 21 right there. Highlights, let's see what happens. We play with highlights. Nope. Okay, with highlights, I think we're gonna keep it at number 7. Okay. Shadows, see what happens. Ooh, okay. Left, right. I think for shadows, I want to give the egg a little bit more shadow around here. So I'm gonna stop when I'm happy with the shadow that I see on the left-hand side of the egg, on the edge of the egg. So I think I'm gonna put it at -51. I'm happy with that. And contrast, let's see what happens. Okay, now for the contrast here, I'm noticing that every time I move the contrast, I'm seeing the big changes on the wall, the background wall on the right-hand side. So you can see here now, if I pull the contrast all the way to the left, you can really see the texture of the wall. But if I pull it all the way to the right, then you lose the whole texture, right? So I want to show a little bit of the texture, but not too much. I almost want it to look like a plain white background. So I think I'm gonna keep it at 4. I'm gonna keep it at 4, okay? And then brightness, see what happens with the brightness. Brightness, I think I'm gonna keep it right dead center at 0. I'm pretty happy with how bright it is. Black point, I'm not gonna touch that. Saturation, and again, just play around with it. And then I'm gonna go straight up to vignette. And let's see if I give it a little bit of vignette. That's too much. I think for this one, I'm actually gonna go a little bit of reverse. Instead of giving it a vignette, I'm actually gonna give it a little bit of a light corner, right? So I'm just enough, okay? So I'm gonna put it at -6 or -6 right there, -6. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's our finished product for this black and white egg photo. I'm gonna hit done to save the photo, and then again I'm gonna open it up to everybody. Anybody have any questions for that?
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. When you got to the vignette, because
Uh-huh.
what we've learned so far is how to add the dark in the
Right.
corner.
Right.
In this case, you said you wanted it brighter. Why is
Yeah. Because, and again, this is very subjective because this is depends on the eye of the artist. This is depends on what you're trying to communicate to your audience. Let me pull back that egg photo here. The reason I wanted to do that, and I'm going to show this to you visually, okay? Um, the whole idea of this image for me is I want it clean, right?
okay?
I was also intending to use this as one of the announcements. I think you saw it, right? Because I wanted to put text, text here and text here and text here. So I decided, if I gave it a vignette, I thought it would be very distracting. So where's the vignette here? I'm not used to it that way. I'm gonna okay. So right here, see if I give it a vignette like this, and I thought if I put photos, if I put letters here, then it'll be too distracting. For me, I decided to like really give it a really clean corner, right?
Clean background. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it really is just a matter of again, how you're feeling, what you want to show to your audience. If some people may decide to give it a vignette, but usually there are certain images that I just want the corners to be clean, and just kind of like, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next one. And we're going to be working with, let me switch my camera here again. Let's do, I think I want to do we're going to do the door handle here, yeah? And this is pretty much the same steps that we've been doing. But the biggest thing with this door handle that I did was the crop and how I rotated it. Okay, how I wanted to give it a spin, for my viewer. So let's go ahead and edit it. Same procedure. Hit auto adjust right there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click the presets here. I'm gonna go all the way to the end. And I'm gonna hit the last one, click the last one. And then I will go back to right there. And then we're gonna do the crop here, okay? There's a reason why I did a square crop, okay? And why I rotated it. Because I don't know if you noticed that when I took the photo, there's a shadow here because I was like standing on the left-hand side. You can see the shadow here, okay? Ideally, I would have loved for this image to be like all even out lighting wise, but unfortunately there was the shadow here when I took it. So I said, okay, how am I gonna get around that? I like the photo, but there's a shadow. So what I did was I just kind of like really experimented on it and see if I can do it. And I found a way. So I picked for this one. Just had an idea. I really wanted this photo to be square, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and click the preset ratio here, and I'm gonna upper right hand corner, and I'm gonna click square. So we're always bound by the square. No matter what I do, when I pinch and when I zoom out, it's always square, right? That's actually a really cute. That's actually a really good crop right there, But this is what I did. I basically did this, right? And then I rotated it. I think I rotated it. Let me see what I did. No, actually, no, I did not rotate it. What I did was I'm going to go back. Sorry. Okay. And so I'm going to go back to the editing, to the crop. Okay, and then I'm gonna unclick the button up here on the upper right hand corner, because right now you see it's yellow. I'm gonna unclick it to escape out of that, right? And now we're back here, and this is where I rotated it. So basically what I did was I rotated it this way, so it's angled 45 degrees, right? And then I just made the adjustments here using my finger. I'm making my adjustment. See what I'm doing here is I hid the shadow, right? See this shadow over here? Oops, 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 oops. Right there. Oop. That's basically what I did with the crop. And again, you can experiment different angles, different. The only reason I'm showing you, the only reason I did this, but I also like it, is because I tried to hide that shadow. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more adjustment here. There you go. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other steps. Go to auto here. I click auto, and then we'll see what happens if I do this. Right there on the exposure, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it at -6 on exposure. Brilliance, let's see what happens. Ooh, see, I'm gonna keep this at, I'm going faster now, guys, okay? So I'm gonna do a 40. Anyone has a question? No, okay. Highlights. Remember, highlights, it's changing all the bright spots of the image. See what's happening here as I'm playing around? So I really wanted to show the texture of the door here. So I'm gonna put the highlights to -76 to really show the texture of the door, which I love, okay? Shadows. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna give it more. I'm gonna give it +24 on the shadow. Contrast. I'm gonna give it, see, for the contrast here, I really want, for this one, I really want the black to be like here in this area. I really want the black to be black and the silver or white to be white. So I'm gonna give it a really high contrast, this one right here. I'm gonna bump it all the way to 100, okay? And then brightness, I'm gonna keep it at 28. Black point. I'm just basically skipping all the other spots here and then go back to vignette. And again, this one I don't know. We'll see what happens here. If I give it, yeah, for this one, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a vignette, just a little bit. So I'm gonna put it at 20, and that will be our finished image, black and white image for the door handle. Okay. And I'm gonna hit done to save it. And then let's see if you all have any questions for me. Any questions?
There's a question from
Sure.
Facebook Live. Stated, I might be jumping ahead. How can we upload our iPhone photos to a Mac to free up the phone drive?
To your Mac?
She says she's a Mac, yeah.
Yeah, super easy. It's called AirDrop. Okay, let me see if I can do a demo here. So the good thing with the Macintosh, with Apple ecosystem, if you have all Apple products, like you have I got 2 phones here, I got an iPad here, I got my Mac here. Okay, from this phone, for example, if I wanted to upload this image, or not just this, you can do multiple. In fact, I'm gonna do multiple here. Okay, I'm gonna show you, not that one. So, like for example, you wanna transfer them to the Mac, right? So all you have to do, go to the photos that you want to transfer to your Mac, and hit select up here. Select. Once you hit select, you can tap each thumbnail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want all of it, you just kind of like swipe your finger all the way down, just like that, to do a fast select of everything. Or if you want everything, you just click select all, right? So after that, once they're all checked and selected, you click on this button again, lower the share button right here. You can all see me okay, right? You click that and you hit airdrop. There's a little white button here that says airdrop, okay? You click airdrop and it will show you all the devices that are currently close to your phone, you know, without even you don't need it to have it connected. The reason I'm not showing here is because my phone's not connected to Wi-Fi. But if I do connect it to Wi-Fi, make sure it's connected to Wi-Fi, by the way. I'm gonna wait for it to connect to Wi-Fi. Let me see. There you go. Once it's connected to Wi-Fi, right? I'm gonna hit, and then you will start seeing all my other. Let's see. They're not showing. Come on, it should show. It's showing like right now. It's seeing my other phone, like this other phone. And if I turn on my iPad here, it should probably show, but my iPad's dead. So, and my computer is not connected to Wi-Fi because it's on wired. So basically, it's seeing this. Okay, if you have another person, like another person who has an iPhone and their iPhone is on, you'll probably see them as well. So that's the fastest way to upload it, to move it to your Mac. Okay, it's through AirDrop. I hope I answered the question. Yes, go ahead.
I have found using AirDrop that it does decrease the resolution a little bit, and it also assigns a new number to the photo. So if you have a program that prevents duplicates, it sees them as different photos.
If you're transferring from Mac to Mac, from a Macintosh to another device, my experience has been no. It actually like if you shoot live photos, right? If you shoot live photos and you AirDrop a live photo to another phone or a Mac, it actually transfers as a live photo as well. But
the ones I noticed it with was not the live.
Oh, okay. It should actually like AirDrop, as far as I know. But I'm gonna verify this. Okay, I will double check.
Okay.
As far as I know, when you do AirDrop, it actually transfers the full resolution photos. And that's been my experience. So just make sure that when you're actually taking the photo, that your setting on your camera has the highest resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will double check on that.
Thanks.
But I'm pretty sure. Anybody else?
Yes, there's another question from Facebook Live. Why do you make original photos in the live option?
Okay, so I think we talked about this in detail on lesson 1, why we shoot live. So one of the secrets that I gave away, one of the advantages of shooting live is because you can check that you can pick the frame. Basically, I'm gonna do it very quickly. When you shoot live, you're actually not taking a photo, you're taking a short video. Okay, a video is made up of a series of many photos, right? So basically, when you shoot live, it's taking 1 second before and taking a video 1 second before you press that button and 1 second after. So you end up with about 10 frames. Depends, sometimes 12. So I'm going to show you here real quick. Okay, I'm going to show you a live photo. And I'll show you this. There's one thing I shot actually that might be a. Actually, this is perfect example for it. The reason I shot it live, so I shot this, where's that? Ooh, I think I erased it. Let me see. Session 3. For example, for this particular photo, right? This is a coffee cup that I took a photo of, okay? So because I shot this live, if the photo is not in focus, you can go and click edit and then hit the live button right here, and then it will show you all the frames. Okay, this is actually not just a photo. I'm going to show you that white snipe. So if I hold it, see, that's actually a video. A live photo is actually a video, about a 3-second video, and then it picks one frame as the hero photo or the keyframe. Okay, so shooting live enables you to pick other frames. Like right here, see, I'm going through all the frames, right? So one way to do it is sometimes when I take a photo and I love it and it's not very sharp, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the live option and look at the other frames and pick the ones that I think is the sharpest. I'm gonna zoom in here. So see, I'm zooming in here, and then I can tell, kind of like I don't want to use this one because I don't want to use that frame because that frame is, look at the bubbles, it's not sharp enough. If I move to the other frame, that's sharper, right? That's even sharper. So it's just a way for you, just like remember when we were shooting the bee? When you're shooting we're trying to take a picture of a bee on a flower, it moves so fast. If you shoot live, then you can pick from the other frames. You can pick the frame where the bee is actually in focus. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We're like on our 1 hour mark. So good. So we can do a few more and then we're just gonna open it. Maybe we're gonna do 2 more, yeah? Okay. Let's do the wine glass because it's a fun one, right? Let's do the wine glass. Oop. I'm gonna switch it on the wine glass is so this one basically what I did was I shot this with not that one actually. It's this one. It's this one. Okay, for those of you, it's this photo. But this is how I shot it. Okay, for this one is again, like when I said earlier, when you're shooting, glass is really cool on a black background, right? So if you really want to experiment on this, go get a wine glass or something else that's glass and put it in a black background. You can get a black cardboard, a matte blackboard. It's good if it's not shiny. If it's matte and flat, it's great. So what I did for me is I'm going to show you is actually I shot it right in front of our fireplace. So that's our fireplace right there, right in the back. You can see the bricks. Okay, and then I put my camera on 2x, and then I got this photo, right? So I got that photo. So let's go ahead and edit this. So again, a glass on a dark background is really good. Like this is like almost like, this is so cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit edit and auto adjust right there, and then hit on the presets. Go all the way to the end. Click Noir. See, I already like it, right? It's already beautiful the way it is. But let's see what happens if we give it a little bit more edit. So on the auto, if I hit left, that's actually pretty cool too, you know? That's too much. And then all the way to the right, that's too bright. So again, this is just a matter of taste. I'm gonna keep this at, I'm gonna keep it right there. Sorry about that. Exposure, I'm gonna keep it at, what happens, I'm gonna keep it at 51. Highlights, there's so many options here. You know, it all depends on your taste and how you wanna, okay, under highlights, I'm gonna keep it at 26. So with the shadows here, see if I pull it all the way to the right, you will start seeing the brick.
Okay. All right, so here I'm showing the contrast. Be very careful because this is where I'm trying to make sure that the black is not showing up. So I'm gonna put it right there, 41, right? And then we're gonna go brightness. Brightness, we're gonna do a -12. I'm gonna touch black point. We're gonna jump straight to vignette. And then for this one, because it's already pretty dark, I'm just gonna keep it at 0. And then we're gonna hit done, right? And this will be our finished photo for the wine glass. What questions do you have?
I have one. I tend to like the silver tone for metals. Is that a real black and white?
No, it's not. It's not. It's actually a dual, it's a dual tone. So when it says silver, it's just a different version of it. It's not real black and white, but it does look like a black. It's actually a dual tone. So
because I tend to like that for metals because it shows the texture of a metal.
Yeah,
better.
Sometimes it's more warm, sometimes it's more blue, right? So yeah, it's just a different version, but it's not true black and white.
Okay, that's maybe why I like it. My favorite color is blue.
There you go. Yeah. Sometimes with metal, I actually tend to make them bluer. You're right. When I don't want it black and white, I just tend to make it bluer because it feels, like when you touch a metal, it's cold. When you look at it, it's blue. It feels cold, right? So you can almost feel it.
Christian, on this glass picture that we just did, is what is inside the glass, the reflection inside the glass, is that your main focus? Or is it the shape of the glass?
That's a really good question. The reflection is not my focus. Actually, I looked at the reflection, but it was not my main focus. My main focus was the dark background and with the glass in front of it that's really sticking out. In fact, you asked me that because when I looked at when I was editing the glass, the photo, I actually looked closer. Oh, I wonder what's in there. Can you see me there? You can actually kind of see me, but I can see me because I know how my living room looks like. But you probably won't. It looks just like it looks like an abstract figure. However, it does not mean that you can do different, something different. You can even play around. You can put your reflection in it. It can be anything. So,
sorry, for me, Christian, the genius of this photo is the angle at which you took it and the perspective. So did you have different perspectives and decide on this one, or this is just what you decided to go for?
This is I wanted, that's a really good question too, because the angle for me was very important for this photo. Like what I said earlier, I give a different perspective, right? Most people, I can tell you, most people who are not very particular about, if they just want to take a photo, they will take it from the top, a little bit higher, so it's looking down on the glass. That's what you do when you drink a glass of wine, right? But what I did, I really angled it. My camera is like really almost the same. Actually, I'm gonna get that glass. It's actually here. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm gonna put my thing here. I'm gonna show you. So you can take a photo. Most people, like this is the glass, right? Most people will take it this way, right? What I did is I really did it this way. Okay. In fact, I can show you right here. Just a sample here. I'm gonna turn my phone so you can see exactly what I mean. Really good question, Nagib. So just imagine that the computer, let's see. Okay, so you can see it, right? Imagine that the computer is actually the fireplace, right? The background. Okay. So most people will take it this way, right? But you know what I did? I lowered it a little bit like this, like this, like this. And I'm gonna actually put it on 2x here. So you can either do it this way, but I like it like really like this. So like right there. So I am like really the same, like exactly the same level as the glass, the wine glass right here. Yeah. I also knew I wanted to use this as an ad for the class. So, but then you can also even play this way. You can also do that. That's also, I think this is exactly what I did, right? So I even lowered it down. I'm actually now almost on the counter. So that way you can see this part. You can really see. You see if you do this. if you do this, you don't see the opening, right?
Yeah.
However, if I do this, it gives it more of like a 3D. You can actually see the mouth of the glass, right?
Okay.
So that's what I did there. Okay. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Absolutely, you did. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So Nathan from Facebook asks, do you ever use any of the add-on camera lenses for your iPhone?
Never.
The ones you can buy separately?
I have had them before. They were given to me as gifts, and I've tried them. The problem is, okay, this is my, I'm not saying they're bad, okay? But this has been my experience. Romy, keep quiet. This has been my experience. The iPhone camera, the lens that are being used here, they're very expensive. They're very high quality glass. And then you put like a $10 lens in front of it, a plastic, it just really degrades the quality of the photo. That's been my experience. But I'm not saying that. I think there's some value, like I know there are some macro ones that you can really get close, but honestly, we're getting macro photos now with our flowers. Some people actually think we're using lenses on them, right? So my question is, I personally have not used them because I think it degrades the quality of the photo. That's what I think. Anybody else? No? Okay, I think we're gonna do one more, and then I'm just gonna open it up for any other questions, not even related, even if it's not related to the subject, but we're gonna do just one more here, okay? Last one. And I'm gonna change. And I think we're gonna do.
Can we do one of the ones that's really colorful?
Which one?
Yeah, I was going to say either the strawberries or the tomatoes, because I think that's a massive contrast in that.
Let's do the strawberry. I
cool.
think we'll get a lot more bang on the strawberry one. Okay, so let's do this. A lot more texture, more fun, I think. Okay, so this is the strawberry. Okay, we'll hit edit. Okay, hit auto adjust, and then do the presets. I'm gonna go all the way to the back. This is a really good one because you can see what happens with reds, right? It makes the reds really red. So we're gonna make, because it's very unnatural looking, I think. So we're gonna make some adjustments here. So I'm gonna hit, okay, I'm gonna hit, go back to that, over there. And then we're gonna decide on the crop, okay? I'm gonna pinch and zoom. This one, to be honest with you, it took me a while to decide on what kind of crop do I want, you know? I did a lot of rotating and a lot of, you know, like, do I want it like this or do I want it like that? I don't even know what I decided on, but I think for this one, right now, the way I feel it, I'm gonna keep it just like this. So you can create your own as well. Because I still wanted to show one full strawberry here, and the others are just like little parts of the strawberry, right? And then note here this, okay, so one of the things that we're gonna do here is, you know, you can see there's like this strawberry leaf here. I wanna show that a little bit more. And for me, the strawberries, the texture is too dark. So I wanted it a bit lighter without losing any of the texture, okay? So again, we're gonna go click on auto adjust here. Let me see what happens. We do the rotation. I'm gonna go to the adjustments, auto. So let's see what happens here. See what happens with the, when I'm sliding it here, see what happens to the, what do you call that? The leaf on top of the strawberry, the green stuff. So if I put it all the way to the left, that's very unnatural, right? All the way, as you move it to the right, you can start seeing more and more the detail of the, you can really tell, even if it's black and white, it's a strawberry, right? So I kind of like it right there because you see the detail of the leaves, the green leaves, and the strawberries. Yeah? So we're gonna stop right there. It's almost all the way to the right. And then exposure. Let's see what happens. Too dark. I think I'm gonna stay right there. Minus 15. Brilliance. We're gonna keep it 19. Highlights. See, with the highlights here, this is really where the texture of the strawberry changes, right? So I really wanted to show, I don't want that because I think it's too dark for my taste. So I'm actually gonna keep it right there. So we're gonna keep it at 49, plus 49. Shadows, let's see what happens with the shadows. Too light, too dark. So I think I'm just gonna keep it right there at 51, okay? 51. Contrast. See, that's too much contrast for me for the strawberry. So I'm gonna, and that's very little contrast over there. And then, so I'm gonna keep it right there. So here, notice here, look, this part right here where my cursor is. I wanna show a little bit more detail back here. See, right here is too dark, right? Right here. But if I put the contrast to the left, then I can start seeing what's beneath it a little bit, right? So I'm gonna show some of that. So I'm gonna keep contrast at the number plus 26. And then brightness, we're gonna keep it at -5. Actually, no, I want it a little bit brighter. We'll keep it at 8, plus 8. Black point, I'm gonna go straight to vignette. For this one, I really want to give this a little bit of vignette. So I'm gonna give it, we're gonna keep it at 46 or 42. So that will be our finished product for the strawberry. 42. Okay, I'm gonna hit done to save it. And I'm gonna open it up for questions. Any questions?
Question. Yeah. All right. So far we've done objects, but what about for faces? Like if you showed us a photo of an old woman in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
How did you take that originally black and white, or was it a colored?
I think this is what you're referring to. Let me pull that photo for you.
The Mayan woman.
All right. Yeah, let me show you.
Yeah, your bandana lady.
There you go.
This one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so,
one.
Yeah, so this one has a lot. I mean, so I took this with my DSLR, which is the big camera, right? But it doesn't. But this one required a lot more advanced editing. So this is not like everything that we've been doing right now when we're editing. It's basically every slider that we pick, every slider that we use, it's applying it to the whole image, right? It's more like a universal change editing. So, but a photo like this, which is more advanced, it entails more like specific spot editing, okay? So I'm able to, like, if I really wanted to show for this photo, when I met her, you know, I really wanted to show her leathery skin. You know, I wanted to show every line on her face, and look at her eyes. Like I really brought out the glitter in the eyes. So so this one I did a lot of spot editing, which means, okay, when I was editing this, I was lightening. If you look at their eye bags, right? The eye bags here. I lighten this up. I lighten that up. I darken this, I darken that. That's to kind of like really show more of like a 3D, right? I'm really giving you like a 3-dimensional. So this is a lot of like editing. So I probably spent a good 30 minutes editing this photo. And then her eyes, I had to brighten that up a little bit. So this is more targeted editing, yeah? Which is much more advanced. Eventually we'll get there. But that's a good question, because that means you're starting to like to see, you're probably starting to see, okay, well, you know, when I apply this slider, it applies it to everything. It's changing one part that I don't want to change, you know. But in more advanced professional editing, you can do it, right? So
follow up. When you say advanced editing, use your computer, not the phone.
yeah, Photoshop.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, basically Photoshop, and I'm using this pen.
Yeah.
Like really, you know. Like
Yeah, it's just like a coloring book.
I remove my wrinkle right here, or my crow's feet right here. I use
Okay.
this is more, it's very precise, you know.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you,
We'll
Christian.
get there eventually.
Very funny on the crow's feet and everything, Christian.
Uh-huh.
I got 30 years on you.
Hey, I can do a plastic surgery without pain. Painless.
Christian,
Yes.
we've got a question from Dawn, and I'm quite interested in the answer as well. On black and white, is the vignette normally always darker? I guess the question is, can you go light as well with the vignette, or is it always dark on the black and white?
Yeah, just like what we did with the eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually gave it a little bit more lighter color, so we went on the negative side. So if you give it a vignette, it darkens all the corners. You can also do the other way around. If you pull it,
Right.
Yeah, you can lighten up the corner. But again,
Okay.
you have to be careful with using vignette. You know, sometimes it's overdone, overused. I've seen it overused. From the very first lesson, I say vignette, you have to be very careful about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? At this point, just I'm probably we're gonna end this in about 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. But any questions you have at all, it doesn't have to be pertaining to this lesson. So for all of you still online, who stuck with us, you can just type in any questions there, and then so one of you guys can maybe ask it. But we'll say 10 more minutes at max. So,
Christian?
Yes.
Any tips for when it's really windy? I know the live photo does help,
Yes.
but any other tips?
When it's really windy, so I use my body to block the wind. So usually this happens when I'm taking pictures of the flower, right? So you can usually tell, well, okay, so it's constantly moving, right? If the wind, I know, I try to figure out where the wind's coming from, and I position my body where it is, you know, and then I just take a photo. I block it. Or I've done this when I held the flower with one hand and I take a photo like this. But still, but the live photo helps out a lot.
First, I got a question for taking shots at the moon at night. How do you work that? Because a lot of times you get the blur after we take that shot. How do we fix that?
For those kind of shots, it's all a tripod is necessary. So which means a moon shot, it's very challenging to photograph the moon. First of all, because it's very bright, you know. So which means to get the surface of the moon, it's really hard to do it. So it's usually shot with manual, right? Where the aperture, the opening of the camera is really tiny. Okay, so you let light in very slowly. So again, we're going into like a lot of photography tech here, tech talk. But the aperture is like how the opening of the aperture of the camera. The bigger the opening, the brighter it is, the more light it will let in, you know? The smaller the opening, the less light it will let in. So for shooting the moon, you need a very, almost like a pinhole, like really tiny. You let the light in very slowly, and make sure that, because light is being recorded very slowly, we gotta make sure it's not moving. Even micro movements will blur the photo. That's why it's always taken with a tripod, because a tripod is almost always never will never move. So very low, very small aperture, which is It's really strange because the smaller the hole is, the higher the number is. You know, so, and again, it depends on how bright the moon is. There's not one single formula for it. I wish I could tell you, hey, for shooting the moon, it's f22, but it's not. It depends on how bright the moon is, you know. And I wish I could tell you it's 3-second exposure, but again, it depends on how bright the moon is, you know. Yeah, so shooting the moon needs to be shot with a tripod and usually a manual setting on a DSLR. But
Great.
one day our phones can do it. One day.
Yeah, thank you. That was good.
Yes. Anybody else?
Yes, Christine from Facebook asks, in a future lesson, can you explain Snapseed app?
Yes. So that's on the list already. So I think after next week, I want to do one more lesson. After that, we'll be ready to move on to Snapseed. Okay. For those of you who are not familiar, Snapseed is an app. It's a much more advanced editing app. Right now, we're using the native app that Apple has attached to your photos, your camera, right? All the sliders. When we go to Snapseed, it's even more advanced. This is like Photoshop for the iPhone or for the mobile phone. Okay, so we can do targeted editing, like what you asked earlier. We can do targeted blurs. It's really fun. So, but before we go there, I wanted to like all of you to get used to this first, because I think if you're good at this one, then it'll be easier for you to pick up on the other. But yes, we will do that. So probably 2 weeks from now, we will do a Snapseed.
Yeah, the question, last time you gave us about 10 secrets for the color. Which one, like for these cameras, is the most powerful black and white secret on these phones? Like what were you even surprised that it could do for black and white?
For me, it's the more contrast, the better. Okay, the more contrast, the better. The simpler the images, the better. One singular subject, the better. Okay, so if you combine all of that, everything that I just said, you will find that in that glass photo, the wine glass photo. Okay.
Yes.
One by one, one singular subject, right?
Yeah, I was amazed that you could block out the entire brick wall with that effect. So I would agree the contrast is very strong feature.
The use of glass, reflection, the use of contrast. The glass is very shiny white. And the back.
Yeah, I find lighting too, like different kinds of lighting has been really impressive. Either natural light or like even on a curio cabinet, you turn it on and you take a black and white. It's incredible with the glass.
And it's plain background, right? Yeah. So everything I said in the beginning, again, these are not by any way the final rule, because like what I said, the rule is there are no rules, but these are, if you follow certain steps, you can actually come up with powerful photos. That glass photo that we did has all the characteristics of everything that we just said. And it's a beautiful photo. Yeah, it's simple but powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are like kind of like the secrets for it. But just like what I said, you can turn anything into black and white. It's, if you know how to do it right, if you know how to edit properly, anything you want to turn to black and white photo can be very powerful.
Okay, thank you. And we've been sending you some of our versions as we've been doing our versions.
Yeah.
So great. Look at your messages and you can see our eggs and glasses and all that. So
awesome. So for those who are listening, I'm gonna make all the original files available for you to use. So you can either use those for practice. Feel free to edit them and post them and share us your version. I love seeing different versions, you know, like the glass. Another crop of the glass could be cut it in half, you know, cut it in half. The other one's just like black, and then just show the half of the glass lengthwise. That can be so, it's a beautiful photo, right? So anybody else? We have 2 more minutes. Any other question?
Christian, early on, before we got going, Nathan Cook on Facebook asked, when are you going to publish a book on the laws of photography?
Good. But there's only one law. I mean, the only rule is there are no rules, right? So all I have to do is publish a book of all of my photos because most of them break the laws.
There you go.
But honestly, I'm really excited about, did I say it during live broadcast that this is my book, but I'm going to publish a book of all my work and each one will be matched with a quote, an inspiring quote, right? So look forward to that. But it's so hard to curate because I have thousands of photos. They're all attached to me. I almost need somebody to pick it for me because it's impossible for me to pick them,
Please do that book in time for the holidays in December because they'd make a great gift.
Okay. Now I will work on that. Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I think it's another great lesson. Thank you for those who are still here with us. Thank you for sticking with us, and for all of you on the Zoom call. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really love this because there's more interaction.
This is awesome.
Yeah, instead of just me blubbering for 2 hours.
Nice to see you up front, not from another angle.
Does it matter?
It's nice to see yeah, that one. It's like talking to you across the table.
What's that?
It's like talking to you across the table.
Yeah, I like this too, I think. I like the lighting too, so all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Thank you.
And stay safe. Okay, we're almost there. Each day we're closer to that day that we can all go back to our
Happy Mother's Day, mothers.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend.
Signing off. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Christian, and thank you for everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
I have separation anxiety.
Oh.
Yeah, Roxy wants to say hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Roxy.
Hi, Roxy.
Goodbye to my
Rusty.
Furball.
I had one in my lap, but he just jumped out.
You
So
follow her on Facebook, on Instagram. Her Instagram is Roxy the Super Diva.
The Super Diva.
Yeah,
Okay.
Roxy the Super Diva. She hasn't posted anything lately, but okay. Bye.
Bye.
bye.